Today we're going to work on the disintegrating cruise control buttons on this 2004 Explorer Sport Trac. To start this project, we need to disconnect the battery to make sure that the airbag is de-energized. Let it sit for 30-45 minutes to make sure that the system is discharged, and then we can remove the airbag. The cruise control buttons are covered by this horn pad, which also has the SRS system, the airbag. This all needs to be taken out. As I indicated earlier, I've already disconnected the battery and it's been probably an hour working on some other things. To get this out, we have to pop these caps off, and there's some bolts underneath there that hold the horn pad in.
At this point, you have two options for button replacement. The first is to buy a set of cruise control buttons with a ribbon cable requiring removal of the steering wheel, and that's the subject of this video. The second option is to reuse your existing ribbon cable and just buy the buttons. There are links below for both of these options.
This multi-wire here, this flat wire, needs to be removed from this point. There's two Phillips head screws on each one of these. There's a ground you need to make sure is reconnected, and then there's two push-on connectors here that need to be connected. The wiring goes all the way back and behind the wheel from this side to this side.
If you decide to go with option 2 and reuse your existing ribbon cable, then separation of the cruise control buttons from the ribbon cable is rather easy with a small flat blade screwdriver. Just be very cautious not to damage any of the pins on the ribbon cable. Here I was trying to cut corners, trying to snake the ribbon cable through without removing the steering wheel, but I found that that's impossible.
I'm going to take this off. And then I got to get my pull tool to pop off the steering wheel. I've got my steering wheel puller on here. You got pull locations that are already noted on the steering wheel. And now I've just got to tighten this up, and it will pop and will be easily removed. There it is. That's the pop I was looking for. So I need to take this ribbon off before I pull the steering wheel. This one I can leave on, and now the steering wheel will easily just gently pull off. Be very careful you don't pull this apart, because it'll unravel and then you have a problem. These two screws hold this rear panel on. You can see here the ribbon is going behind, once again, behind the steering to this side, reconnected it. Don't forget this little ground. The ground needs to go up here underneath this screw. And we'll reconnect this one point here. There's one more wire that needs to be reconnected. It'll come up the back. So make sure you take a few pictures or come back to this video if you want to look at the routing. Let's flip it around. And here you see the routing of the ribbon. This is going to need to be up high. This section here. And there's a couple slots in the steering wheel for the routing of the ribbon that comes back to the clock spring. I'm looking through this hole and making sure the ribbon cable won't get caught when I reconnect the airbag. Same on this side. So now I just need to reinstall these screws. The steering wheel, if you can see this in the light, has these little grooves in it, but there's a flat spot that should match up with the spot on the column. You can see how easy that goes on. Plus, you can see that these need to be centered in this opening. And we'll use this bolt to pull the steering wheel back into place. So the ribbon has a couple of slots up here on this cover that needs to be pushed in there to make sure it doesn't get in the way of the clock spring. So make sure that you push that all the way up in there. It should stay in place because it's pretty rigid. Now we can put the airbag back on.
The airbag was installed, just reverse of removal. Be very careful, don't drop it. And then you can admire those buttons, which really makes the vehicle look brand new again. If you like this video, give me that thumbs up. That really helps my channel. Subscribe and share. And I'll see you next time on Driving Intelligence.